Hello again and welcome back to our course on Excel 2013 Advanced. In this section I'm going to take a quick look at table styles. Even if you've used an earlier version of Excel and one that included tables, you'll find that the table formatting in Excel 2013 is now really pretty sophisticated. Some would say that it's so complex now that it probably warrants a long section of our course all on its own. But I'm just going to take you through the basics now, and then I'll leave you to experiment with these. So first of all, on the Table Tools Design tab, if you click on the Quick Styles button, there's a drop down there which gives you access to the gallery. The gallery of styles that are available is divided into light, medium and dark, and provided you've got live preview enabled, then you can preview how any particular one of these styles is going to look. Generally speaking, the styles support things like banded rows and banded columns, but some of the styles don't. So for instance, if you go back to this very basic style here, the none, which is basically removing all styles, then whether you've got banded rows enabled or not doesn't make any difference, because this doesn't support banded rows. But generally speaking, most of the styles support things like banded rows, first column, last column, banded columns, etc. So let's go into one of the other styles. Let's choose, say, that one, and let's try some of the other settings. First column, all darkened, last column, and then banded columns in general. And as you can see, at the first level of customization, using the checkboxes in table style options gives you a reasonable level of control over a table style. Now, as I said, I'll leave you to experiment with these basic styles yourself and with the use of the options in table style options. But let's look at customizing a style. So again, back into styles, let's choose one of these others here. Let's try choosing that one. If I right click on that, one of the options I have is duplicate it. So I've now made a duplicate of that style, and I can customize that to my requirements. I'm going to give it a name. I'm going to call it Toby Order Style, to remind me what it is. And now I can go through and decide which features I want enabled. Now within this Modified Table Style dialog, I can select any one of the table elements, and then I can format that element. Let's look at a couple of examples of the kind of formatting that I can do. I've got here, first of all, first column stripe. Now what I can do at the moment is to change the stripe size. At the moment the stripe size is 1, which means in this case 1 column. I could make a stripe size 2 columns wide. So the stripes are 2 columns wide. If I looked at, say, the last column, let's go into the last column and let me click on Format here. That lets me format the last column. So for instance, I could put a different fill color on the last column. So let's choose something that's very different from the others. It'll look rather strange, but let's just try that. Click on OK. So I've changed the color for the last column. I've made a double column stripe. Click on OK, and that is my table style. Now all I need to do is to apply it to this table. So click on that, and it's applied to this table. Rather strange looking, but there you are. You can certainly see the double striping, and you can also see the difference in the color in the last column. And you're not actually constrained to modifying an existing style. You can create a style completely from scratch. If you click on that Quick Styles drop down again, and then New Table Style near the bottom there under the gallery, gives you a new table style dialog. You can choose a name for your new style, and then you are effectively starting from a blank canvas. The preview on the right just shows you a plain white table with a little bit of text in each of the cells, and then you can choose each element, striping and so on. Last column you can go in and format to choose the fill color, border settings, font and so on, and you can build up as customized a table style as you like, and you're not constrained to starting with one of the existing styles. So that's a good thing to experiment with as well. Now while we're looking at styles, I just want to point out one other thing to you which sometimes people find useful. Not everybody likes using tables, but some of the features of tables they do like, and particularly this ability to build up styles people like. Now what you can do if you wanted a layout like this one, I can't imagine that you would, but let's suppose that you did, is to use a table and the use of table styles to create the particular layout that you want. And then when you're in the table, one of the options we haven't looked at over here in the tools group is convert to range. And what convert to range will do is convert a table into a normal range of cells. So you don't lose any data, but the table, or all of the cells in the table, are no longer part of a table. They're just within a regular range. So if I click on convert to range here, I get a confirmation dialog question, say yes. I don't lose any formatting at all, but this is no longer a table. I've got all the style that I want. I've got this banding, first row, last row, etc., that strange color in the right hand column, but I've no longer got a table. So if you want to build up a neat, or in some cases not so neat, style using one of the table styles, but you don't actually want to use a table, that's a pretty good way of doing it. One thing to notice there, I've clicked in cell D7, is that having converted a table to a range, none of the table references are actually usable. So what Excel 2013 does for you is to convert those references back to more regular styles of reference, including references to worksheet and then cell, in some cases with absolute cell references and in some cases with relative cell references. So that's it on table styles. In the next and final very short section on tables, I want to have a quick look at selecting in a table. So please join me for that.